Okay, so today we're going to take a look at some Draper Expert bit holding sockets. Anybody that don't know what the bits are, bits are these kind of things that fit in the end. We have things like ratchet screwdrivers, usually, and power drills, things like that. You know the type. And they all come in like a quarter inch hex, I think it is. Now we're taking a look at the Draper Expert quarter inch, which is a regular kind of thing that we see these days. And that attaches to a quarter-inch drive extension or ratchet, and then you can put your bit then in the end. But we've also, which is a little bit more of a rarity, picked up a 3/8 drive quarter-inch hex bit socket as well. Obviously that's for the same size bit, but it allows you to use your 3/8 ratchet. Now if you're using the 3/8 ratchet already and you've got it in your hand, putting your socket back and picking this up, you know, for the sake of a couple of pounds, what they are, is you know, worth it. Instead of having to go and, you know, grab the quarter inch to do it. Besides, there might be a time when the extra length of the 3/8 you know, ratchet is better suited, and it can also serve as a good we just pull that off. It can also serve as a good adapter as well for the quarter-inch sockets. In the case of if you've got one of these bits, which is the quarter-inch drive and retention ball, that will obviously fit in there like that. Just take a bit of a push to lock it in, and then once that's in there, obviously that'll bit on your ratchet, and you can actually use that as an adapter with that kind of bit instead of the usual kind of adapter. So you've got another adapter there. In hindsight, you can put a little quarter-inch sized socket on there and do it that way. Now they are fairly stiff to get out, so it's quite a nice thing because you don't want them falling out. But, you know, you can use it to do your Torx bits, your hex bits, as we've got here. Your Phillips and your Posi screwdriver bits, as well as your the flat-headed bits. So that way you can do up you know, you can do up your screws instead of with a driver, with a ratchet, if that's what you want to do. Sometimes it might you know, the hex and the Torx and things like that are usually a little bit better suited to this, but I personally think, although you do see the bits for sale in sets like that look like that, and they've got all the different bits already in there, and they're hard punched in, and you just grab one, grab another one, put them on your ratchet. I do actually think that the the bit holders are better value, because if you chew up a bit or break a bit, you just buy a replacement and pull the you might have to get a pair of pliers if you broke it off, just to pull it out. But all you do is you basically just remove the bit and you start again. You go and buy a new bit, but the ones that are all in one like that, you will have to buy in most cases buy a whole new set. We take a look at the actual holder, the bit holder. You can actually see there that it's chrome vanadium, as we see CR van, and it does actually say 3/8 inch square drive times 1/4 inch hex. And there's the inside of the hex. There's the chamfered, obviously it's a chamfered edge, and you have got a clip that runs similar to a lot of the screwdrivers that hold these type of bits. You've got a metal ring clip that runs around the tip and holds in a ball. You can see the slight indent there of the ball. If we can just, there we go. You can see the slight indent there of the ball. The ball bearing is a bit underneath there, but you want to line it up. Sometimes they might be misaligned and it might be sticking up slightly, and you just have to twist that ring around until you line the ball bearing up with that raised part there. And what that does is, obviously, if you can see the ball bearing there inside, keeps that in the retention ball in place. In the back, obviously, you have got you've got a cut out hole there for retention ball, 3/8 size. There is no other clear indentations on there or detents on there, so you will have to line it up and use the 3/8 sized hole, ball hole, if you want to do that. I'm sure it'll still fit usually. If I just try it, I'll move the ball out the way you see of the regular, and it'll still fit on there. You know, I mean, you can still use it. It's just without the ball being lined up, you can pull it off easily. That's the thing. Where is it? There we go. Whereas when you line it up with the retention ball, you can't pull it off until see there. You can't pull it off until you release it. Now, if you take a look at the 1/4 inch, it's like a miniature version. You have got a little knurl actually around the top on this one, and again you can see the Draper Expert with a slightly different the logo that we're used to. That we're used to seeing, whereas the Draper Expert on there was kind of just stamped on there. You got the actual logo, you know, the writing was stamped on there on the 3/8, so you actually got the actual proper logo that's stamped on this one. Bit of knurling at the top, like I said. Again, with things that have been plated and polished, it's not always the best. Another ring clip that runs around the top. Which holds ball bearing in place, but this time around the ball bearing is clear to see from the outside as well as the inside there. Okay, so the 1/4 inch drive bit holder will do exactly the same thing, obviously, as the 3/8 in regard to fitting the 1/4 inch size bits. It's obviously a smaller, thinner unit if you want to get into an area that you can only use, you know, these kind of sized diameter sockets in, because it's very narrow. Then obviously this one will be your better chance for doing that over the 3/8. That's why there's also another reason why I'm having the 2. Now this doesn't have a drilled hole for retention on the female drive end, but however it does have indents that run on all 4 sides, as you can see there. You see the indents on all 4 sides. Again, you take a look at the knurl. A line knurl similar to the Bergen sockets. Again, with the plating on there, the polishing, it's hard to get any kind of real good grip with, which is the case all the time anyway. With everything that's knurled like that on those plated sockets. The ring clip, again, this time it's exposed. The ball bearing is exposed on the outside, as well the exterior as well as the interior, as you can see there. But it's kind of got you know, it's gripped in by a cut out circle there, which holds it down fairly tight anyway, but it's still the same principle that you see on a lot of screwdrivers or ratchet screwdrivers. Again, the chrome vanadium, so it's fairly durable, and that's all there is really to that one. It's part number is 3/8. Its part number for the 1/4 inch holding socket is 85125, and the 3/8 part number is 31999. You can see there not just your ratchets but your T-bars as well. I think they're better value than just buying the like I said before, the ones that come in the packs with the sockets that already have the bits in them already. Because if you break one of those, then, you know, if they can't under warranty, if they can't give you that individual one back, then you know, they might have to replace your whole set. Obviously that's no cost to you, so that won't mind you, but you know, if you haven't got your receipt or whatever, or your warranty valid, then you'd have to go and buy a whole you know, new pack of those. Although they may be quick to grab a hold of and use, the ones that are already lined up with the different bits already stamped, hard stamped, punched in them, like sockets. You haven't got to go looking through your bits to stick in there individually. You know, if you do chew a bit up, a single individual bit that's in here up, you could just, like I said before, pull it out and throw it away and go and buy a new bit and put that in there, and it's not, or a new pack of bits, because they usually come in a set for a few pounds, and you're good to go again. So it's not a big deal there. So that's that. Nothing really, nothing too special. I did already have one of these in 1/4 inch, like a Taiwan one, and that's worked fine. I'll probably move that into the garage, but you know, obviously they're not the same build quality as something like the Draper Expert ones, but it did work fine. I do think they are a good addition to your set, because you can use them to you know, do your where you need to put a little bit more pressure on, say, undoing a Phillips screw. And it is better actually sometimes than using the ratchet to use the T-bar, because you can put your the palm of your hand into the head, whereas when you put your palm of your hand into the head of the ratchet, the 1/4 inch or 3/8 ratchet, you press the release button, which releases the so you can't do it properly, but whereas with the T-bar you can. You kind of put that into your the palm of your hand, and it won't, obviously there's no release button on the T-bar, so it won't release the ratchet. So if you're going to be doing that with a ratchet, I would advise you to use it obviously with a ratchet, probably with the spin back type that has no release on there. So when you put your force, now if you do it two-handed, where you hold the arm that way and then use your other hand on the over the head and push the screwdriver bit in as you turn, then it won't obviously it's not going to release the bit. So there's a tip for you there on that. So that's the Draper Expert 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch drive, bit hole in sockets.